Many knife makers, good knife makers, buy steel that's ready for grinding and they shape the blade on a grinder. But Keith Moore is a traditional knife maker. He selects a piece of steel that for some of his customers has come from, say, a buggy spring from Grandpa's horse-drawn carriage. Some people have brought Keith a metal bar off of one of Granddad's farm implements or an old car. Keith takes this piece of steel and forges it, shapes it into a knife blade. He likes to work with steel that has relatively high carbon content for holding an edge, spring steel if the blade needs to be flexible, or W2 steel for large blades that don't need to flex. Here he's just doing some rough grinding, shaping the steel into the bar that he'll forge into a blade by heating and hammering. That's what forging is, heating and hammering steel to shape it, rather than grinding it down. Keith uses a small hand forge to heat the steel to a yellow glow so it's malleable. When it's ready, the forging begins, and Keith will do 90% of the shaping of the blade at this stage just with his hammer. As the steel cools, it's less conducive to shaping with a hammer, so Keith keeps the metal glowing while he hammers it into shape. That's the basic job of forging the blade. It has the curves and rough blade taper that Keith wants in the finished knife. The blade is the important end, and it's the one that's forged first. But setting the blade into a good-looking and functional handle is an extremely important part of custom knife making. Now, how that blade fits into the handle, if the metal extends all the way to the butt, or if it's shorter, the shape of the metal inside the grip and how it attaches to the handle, or if it's glued or riveted, all of these are options that the knife maker must decide. Some choices are based on strength, some on style. Keith Moore likes to make large knives, the kind of knives that, in recent years, frankly, have lost favor to the smaller folding knives. And while it's true you can perform a lot of camp and outdoor tasks with a small knife, there are some things that only a big knife will do. In some cases, it can serve as a hatchet, and this calls for a heavy-bladed knife with a strong handle. This is what the forging process does, shaping the blade by pounding and tempering the metal with heat. The next stage is the one where most knife makers begin, grinding the final shape. Keith uses a belt grinder, which gives him better control and a cleaner surface finish than if he used a grinding stone or wheel. There are different types of edges a knife maker can put on a blade. Keith prefers what he calls an appleseed edge, more rounded than beveled, which makes an awesome cutting surface. A knife maker's name is usually etched or stamped into the blade because each custom knife is a work of art. But the beauty of custom knives is while they look distinctive, they're extremely functional. They're made to be used. Now, this is the one that you gave to me,
right,
which I'm just absolutely thrilled with. Absolutely thrilled. It seems like it would be a shame to use a knife like this.
Well, I think you should go out and use it.
Seriously?
Right.
Are the knives that you sell like this end up being working knives that people...
Every knife that I've made is a working knife. I haven't really made any art knives.
Well, he may not call them art, but hand forging blades is certainly an art that Keith Moore uses well in his knife making, an interesting aspect in the world of sportsman's knives.